Hi, everyone. My name is Charles. Welcome to English Podcast and Tech. This is episode 1 of our series, The People Who Built the Digital World. In the last episode, we introduced the series. We talked about 30 people who changed the history of technology. Today, we meet the first person on our list. Her name is Ada Lovelace. Ada Lovelace lived in the 19th century, more than 150 years ago. She never used a computer. Computers did not exist in her time. But she wrote the first computer program in history. How is that possible? That is exactly what we will find out today. Let's begin. Before we start, let's learn the key words for today. Listen carefully and repeat each word. The first word is mathematician. A mathematician is a person who studies and works with mathematics. Ada Lovelace was a brilliant mathematician. She loved numbers and logic from a very young age. Repeat after me, mathematician. The second word is algorithm. An algorithm is a set of instructions to solve a problem or complete a task. When you follow a recipe to cook food, you are following an algorithm. When a computer processes data, it follows an algorithm. Repeat after me, algorithm. The third word is engine. In this context, an engine is a machine that performs calculations. In Ada's time, the word engine was used for large mechanical machines. Today we use words like computer or processor. Repeat after me, engine. The fourth word is publish. To publish means to make something available for people to read. Ada published her work in 1843. Scientists and researchers publish papers and books to share their ideas with the world. Repeat after me, publish. The fifth word is translate. To translate means to convert something from one language to another. Ada translated an article from French to English, and then added her own notes. Those notes became her most important work. Repeat after me, translate. The sixth word is calculate. To calculate means to find an answer using mathematics. Before computers, people used machines to calculate large numbers. Ada understood how to use those machines better than anyone else. Repeat after me, calculate. The seventh word is vision. Vision means the ability to imagine what is possible in the future. Ada had an extraordinary vision. She imagined machines that could do much more than just calculate numbers. Repeat after me, vision. The eighth word is recognition. Recognition means being acknowledged or celebrated for your work. Ada Lovelace did not receive recognition during her lifetime. The world only understood her importance many years after her death. Repeat after me, recognition. 8 words: mathematician, algorithm, engine, publish, translate, calculate, vision, recognition. Now let's hear her story. The year is 1815. In London, England, a girl is born. Her name is Augusta Ada Byron. The world will later know her as Ada Lovelace. London in 1815 is a city of contrasts. Rich and poor live side by side. Science and superstition exist at the same time. The Industrial Revolution is transforming England. Factories are appearing everywhere. Machines are replacing human hands. It is a world changing faster than anyone can understand. Into this world, Ada Byron is born. Her father is the famous poet Lord Byron, one of the most celebrated writers in England, but also one of the most difficult men. Ada never really knows him. Her parents separate when she is just 1 month old. Lord Byron leaves England and never returns. He dies in Greece when Ada is only 8 years old. Her mother, Annabella Byron, is a very different person. She is serious, disciplined, and highly educated. She is also excellent at mathematics. Annabella makes an important decision. Ada will study mathematics and science, not poetry and art. She says, and I am paraphrasing here, I will not allow my daughter to become a romantic dreamer like her father. She will learn to think clearly. She will learn logic. And so Ada grows up surrounded by numbers, geometry, and scientific thinking. But Ada is not only a logical thinker. She also has a rich imagination, a combination that will make her unique. When Ada is 12 years old, she has a remarkable idea. She wants to build a flying machine. She does not simply dream about it. She studies birds for weeks. She examines their wings, their weight, the way they move through the air. She draws detailed diagrams. She thinks about materials, silk, wire, feathers. She writes in her notebook, I am going to discover the secret of flight. I will use science and mathematics to find the answer. She does not build the flying machine, but the process reveals something essential about Ada. She combines imagination with rigorous analysis. She thinks like an engineer and a poet at the same time. In 1833, when Ada is 17 years old, her life changes completely. She attends a dinner party in London. At that dinner, she meets a man named Charles Babbage. Charles Babbage is 51 years old. He is a mathematician, philosopher, and inventor. He is also one of the most fascinating and difficult people in London. Babbage has been working for years on a machine he calls the analytical engine. The machine fills an entire room. It has thousands of gears, wheels, and metal components. It is designed to calculate mathematical results automatically, without human error. Most people who visit Babbage's workshop look at the machine with confusion. They do not understand what they are seeing. But when Ada sees it, her reaction is completely different. She stands in front of the machine for a long time. She asks Babbage questions, detailed, technical, intelligent questions. Babbage is astonished. He later writes, she was the only person who truly understood what the machine could do. Ada and Babbage begin a long collaboration. They exchange hundreds of letters over the following years. In those letters, Ada does not simply agree with Babbage. She challenges him. She corrects him. She pushes him to think bigger. In one letter, she writes, you think about the machine as a calculator, but I think it can be much more than that. It can process any kind of information, not just numbers. Babbage reads her words and is silent. Nobody had ever said that to him before. In 1842, an Italian mathematician named Luigi Minabrea attends a lecture by Babbage in Turin, Italy. Minabrea writes an article about the analytical engine in French. A scientist named Charles Wheatstone asks Ada to translate the article into English. Ada translates the article, but then she goes much further. She spends 9 months writing her own notes that she adds to the translation. Those notes are extraordinary. They are 3 times longer than the original article. In the notes, Ada describes, step by step, how the analytical engine could calculate a specific sequence of numbers called Bernoulli numbers. Each step is precise. Each instruction follows logically from the previous one. This is, in every sense of the word, a computer program, the first computer program ever written. But Ada does not stop with the algorithm. In her notes, she goes further, much further. She writes, the analytical engine could compose elaborate pieces of music. It could produce graphics. It could be used for any purpose, if we can express that purpose in symbols and rules. Read those words again slowly. She is describing a general-purpose computer in 1843. She is describing the laptop you use today, the phone in your pocket, the server that runs the internet. 100 years before any of those things existed. Ada also writes something equally important, a warning. She says, the analytical engine has no power to originate anything. It can only do what we know how to order it to perform. This idea, that a machine can only do what humans program it to do, is still debated in computer science and artificial intelligence today. Ada Lovelace asked the fundamental question of the digital age 180 years ago. Her notes are published in 1843. She signs them with only her initials, A.L. In Victorian England, it was not common for women to publish scientific work under their own names. Babbage encourages her to put her full name. Ada refuses. She signs only A.L. Sadly, Ada Lovelace becomes seriously ill shortly after publishing her work. She dies in 1852, at only 36 years old. Her work disappears. Almost nobody reads it. Almost nobody remembers it. For nearly 100 years, Ada Lovelace is forgotten. Then, in the 1950s, a mathematician named Alan Turing, who we will meet in episode 4, begins to study the history of computing. Turing reads Ada's notes. He is astonished. He realizes that Ada Lovelace had described, 100 years earlier, the exact questions he was now trying to answer. Slowly, the scientific community begins to rediscover Ada's work. In 1980, the United States Department of Defense creates a new programming language. They name it Ada, in her honor. Today, Ada Lovelace is recognized worldwide as the first computer programmer in history. Every year, on the second Tuesday of October, the world celebrates Ada Lovelace Day. It is a day to recognize the contributions of women in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. A woman born in 1815. A woman who never touched a computer. A woman who died at 36. She changed the course of the digital world forever. Let's review the 8 key words from today's episode. Mathematician, a person who studies mathematics. Ada Lovelace was one of the most talented mathematicians of her century. Algorithm, a set of instructions to solve a problem. Ada wrote the first algorithm in history designed to be executed by a machine. Engine, a machine that performs calculations. The analytical engine was Babbage's mechanical computer, the machine that inspired Ada. Publish, to make something available to read. Ada published her notes in 1843, signed only with her initials A.L. Translate, to convert from one language to another. Ada translated a French article into English, and then added 3 times more content in her own notes. Calculate, to find an answer using mathematics. The analytical engine was built to calculate numbers automatically, without human error. Vision, the ability to imagine the future. Ada's vision was 100 years ahead of her time. She described the modern computer before electricity even powered machines. Recognition, being acknowledged for your work. Ada received no recognition in her lifetime. Today, a programming language, an annual day, and millions of people carry her legacy. That is the story of Ada Lovelace, the world's first programmer. A mathematician with a vision, a woman ahead of her time, a legacy that changed everything. Today's phrase to remember is, she was ahead of her time. This phrase means that a person had ideas or abilities that were too advanced for the era they lived in. Ada Lovelace was ahead of her time, 100 years ahead. Repeat after me, she was ahead of her time. One more time, she was ahead of her time. In the next episode, we meet Charles Babbage, the man who designed the first mechanical computer and changed how humans think about machines. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below. Here is a question for you. Write your answer in English in the comments. What do you think is Ada Lovelace's most important idea? Writing in English in the comments is excellent practice. Do not be afraid to make mistakes. See you in episode 2. This is Charles, and this is English Podcast and Tech.